"You look like my husband, before he disappeared." The words were soft. Almost fragile. But they hit him like a punch to the chest. Daniel Hayes, CEO of a billion-dollar tech company, had faced hostile investors, aggressive competitors, and brutal headlines. Nothing ever made him flinch. Until a quiet widow standing by a cafe window looked into his eyes and said that sentence. If stories about unexpected kindness and life-changing moments move your heart, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Lights, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us spread stories that remind the world that kindness still matters. It was a cold evening in downtown Chicago. Snow tapped gently against the large glass windows of a small neighborhood cafe. Inside, the air smelled of cinnamon and fresh coffee. Daniel sat alone at a corner table, his suit jacket folded neatly beside him. His phone buzzed constantly with emails and stock updates, but he ignored it. For the first time in weeks, he wasn't thinking about profits or expansion plans. He was thinking about how quiet his penthouse apartment felt at night. Across the cafe, a young woman stood behind the counter. Her name tag read Emily. She looked to be in her early 30s. Her blonde hair was tied back simply, and there was a tiredness in her eyes that no amount of makeup could hide. She noticed Daniel had been staring at his coffee for nearly 10 minutes without drinking it. "Long day?" she asked gently as she approached his table. Daniel looked up, surprised. Most people recognized him. They whispered. They stared. But they rarely spoke to him like a regular person. "You could say that," he replied with a faint smile. She hesitated for a moment. Then she studied his face more closely. Something shifted in her expression. "You look like my husband, before he disappeared," she said quietly. Daniel froze. The cafe sound seemed to fade. "Disappeared?" he asked. Emily nodded. She wrapped her arms around herself, as if the memory made her cold. 3 years ago. He left for work one morning and never came home. No note. No warning. Just gone. Daniel didn't know what to say. He was used to giving speeches, making decisions, controlling rooms. But this wasn't a boardroom. "I'm sorry," he said finally. Emily gave a small shrug. "Everyone says that. I don't think anyone knows what to say." She glanced toward the window where snow continued to fall. "He looked just like you the night before," she continued. "Tired. Distant. Like something inside him was breaking, and I didn't see it." Her words landed deeper than she knew. Because Daniel had been feeling exactly that way. His company was thriving, but his personal life was empty. His marriage had ended 2 years earlier. He had missed birthdays, anniversaries, simple dinners at home. He had told himself he was building a legacy. But sitting there, staring into the eyes of a woman who had lost everything without warning, he felt a crack in his armor. "What happened?" he asked softly. "No one knows," Emily replied. "The police searched. His car was found near a train station. That's it." She forced a smile. "Life goes on, right?" Daniel looked around the cafe. It wasn't fancy. The tables didn't match perfectly. The menu board was handwritten. But it felt warm. Alive. "You run this place alone?" he asked. She nodded. "My husband and I opened it together. After he disappeared, I thought about selling it. But it's the last thing we built together." There was no self-pity in her voice. Just quiet strength. Daniel picked up his coffee and took a sip. It had gone cold. "You should have told him," Emily said suddenly. "Told him what?" "That he mattered more than whatever was breaking him inside." Her eyes met his again, steady and honest. "Men carry so much alone." The words echoed in his mind long after he left the cafe that night. Daniel couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the way Emily said, "You look like my husband," before he disappeared. He saw himself clearly for the first time. The exhaustion. The isolation. The silent pressure. The next morning, instead of heading straight to his office tower, Daniel did something unexpected. He returned to the café. Emily looked surprised when he walked in. "Back already?" she asked with a small smile. "I realized something," Daniel said. "You were right." She tilted her head. "About what?" "I've been disappearing too. Just in a different way." They talked for hours. About business. About loss. About fear. About the way people in America are praised for working non-stop, even when it costs them their families. Daniel learned that after her husband vanished, Emily started a small, pay-it-forward board near the register. Customers could prepay for coffee or meals for strangers who couldn't afford them. "It's not much," she said. "But sometimes kindness is the only thing that keeps people going." Daniel looked at the board filled with sticky notes. Coffee for anyone who needs a warm break. Lunch for a tired mom. Meal for someone looking for work. He felt something shift inside him. "Can I help?" he asked. Emily laughed softly. "Buy a coffee?" "No," he said. "More." Within weeks, Daniel made a decision that shocked his board of directors. His company launched a new initiative: flexible hours for parents, free mental health counseling, mandatory paid time off, and community service days where employees volunteered at local shelters and food banks. He invested anonymously in small neighborhood businesses across the city, including Emily's Café, ensuring they could survive rising rents. But he didn't stop there. Every Friday evening, Daniel sat at the same corner table in the café. Not as a CEO. Just as Daniel. He listened to stories. He paid for meals quietly. He asked people how they were really doing. And something remarkable happened. The café became more than a business. It became a community hub. Strangers talked to each other. People shared job leads. A struggling college student found a mentor. A widower found friends who understood his grief. One snowy evening, months later, Emily sat down across from Daniel. "You look different," she said. Daniel smiled. "How?" "Alive." He chuckled. "You saved me that night, you know." She shook her head. "I just told you the truth." "Sometimes that's the greatest kindness," he replied. Emily's